Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you the essential insights on the biggest stories really shaping the NBA right now. We've got a huge pile of source material to sift through today.
Yep.
We're talking clutch performers stepping up, some surprisingly dominant teams out west, remembering a true legend we lost, and, well, there's always some front office drama brewing somewhere, isn't there?
Always.
Yeah.
And that's our mission, right?
Yeah.
To go beyond just the scores and highlights for you. We want to really break down the why.
Exactly.
You know, the strategies, the player growth, what makes teams click or sometimes fall apart. We'll look at why one team couldn't hold a lead and how a young center is suddenly scoring, like, incredibly efficiently.
Okay, perfect. Let's jump straight in, then we'll start in the East with maybe the biggest surprise so far, a team that's been rebuilding, seemingly forever.
Right.
But they've ripped off a win streak, sitting at 8-2 now. We're talking, of course, about the Detroit Pistons, fresh off a big win against the Sixers.
And this wasn't just any win. The sources are really clear on this. It was a character win. They were super shorthanded, missing Ivy, Stewart, Sasser, key guys for their depth. And they still managed to beat Philly, who, okay, no Embiid, but still a really solid team, lots of talent, good defense. That kind of win, it does a lot for a team's belief. Shows their system works.
Totally. And the story, really the whole story around the Pistons right now, it feels like it orbits Cade Cunningham. But the Sixers game, it was kind of like his whole season in miniature, right? A bit of a roller coaster.
Absolutely. A real Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. You have to talk about the rough start first because it makes the finish even more impressive.
Okay.
First half, he was struggling. Sources said he started, 1 of 9?
Oof.
Yeah. Couldn't hit threes, missing layups he usually makes. Had 3 turnovers that looked, avoidable. Just looked a bit out of sorts, hesitant maybe.
So when a star starts like that, is it pace? Or are defenses figuring him out early, throwing specific looks at him? What are the sources saying there?
That's a great question. It seems like it's a mix, but maybe more about defensive reads early on. Sometimes defenses dare him into tough jumpers, or they send these soft traps he doesn't quite read right early in games.
Okay.
But the amazing thing is, it doesn't seem to matter how he starts. After halftime, it's like swish flips. He finished this game, 26 points, 11 assists, 4 boards. His second half production our season has been just wow.
Let's dig into those numbers,
Yeah.
because this is where you see the real story, right? How reliable is he when it counts?
Elite, just elite. Season long, okay. Second halves only. Cade's averaging 18 points per game on 54% shooting.
54% in the second half.
Yep. And we should explain efficiency for the listener, too.
Yeah.
True shooting percentage, right? It combines everything. Field goals, threes, free throws. His is 64% in second halves.
Okay, and for anyone not familiar, 64% true shooting. That's stellar. Especially for a guard handling the ball that much, taking tough shots. That's like elite big man efficiency sometimes.
Exactly. It means he's getting to the rim, drawing fouls, converting efficiently. And then you narrow down even more. Fourth quarter. Real crunch time. It gets better. He's putting up 11 points per game in the fourth, shooting 53%, but the true shooting jumps to 65%.
Wow.
So it's not like he's tired or shying away. It almost feels like he saves his most aggressive, highest percentage stuff for when it absolutely matters most. Reads the game, then attacks.
And that consistency, even with a rough start sometimes, that's why he's got to be in the clutch player of the year conversation, right? And you saw Philly, you saw Nick Nurse. They knew it late in that game.
Oh, absolutely. The sources pointed out Nurse changed up the defense. They went from just regular coverage to basically sending flat-out double teams at Cade as soon as he touched the ball late.
Right, to trying to get it out of his hand.
Exactly. Not waiting for a screen, just boom, 2 guys on him way out high, forcing him to solve that problem on the fly.
And that's the test, isn't it? How do you beat a defense designed specifically to stop you? The sources highlighted 2 huge plays in the final minutes. Absolute game changers.
Okay, play 1. It's a direct answer to that double. Cade sees it coming, avoids getting fully trapped, and just attacks. Bowls right by Kelly Oubre, drives hard, and finishes with, I think the sources call it maybe the best poster of his career. An and-one dunk over Andre Drummond, his old teammate.
Whoa! Posterizing Drummond for an and-one down the stretch. That's pure aggression. That basically tells the defense, okay, try doubling me again, puts them up 5. Huge swing.
Exactly.
Good.
It makes the defense second-guess that strategy immediately. The risk is too high, foul, easy bucket. But credit to Philly, they fought back, cut it to 2 points,
Right.
which set up the real dagger play.
Okay, play number 2. What happened? They try to pressure him again.
Yeah, looks like they tried collapsing from the right side. But this time, Cade reads it differently. Instead of just speed, he used their pressure against them.
Yeah.
Drives left. Hits this beautiful spin move in the paint, shakes the defender, and sinks this falling away, spinning mid-range jumper. Tough shot. Maybe 16 seconds left. Game over.
And the sources mention earlier in the game, similar pressure made him rush, turn it over. But late, he's reading it right.
Yeah.
Either attacking before the double sets or using that footwork to exploit the gap it creates. That's a huge leap in real-time decision-making.
Huge leap. And it's not just Cade making leaps. We got to talk about the other half of this equation. The sources are really emphasizing Jalen Duren's growth, too. That two-man game is becoming something special.
Duren's been playing really well. What specific leaps are the sources pointing to? What's changed most for him?
Defense. Without a doubt, it's the defense. He was always athletic, right? Big body. But his positioning, his commitment level, way up. Against the Sixers, 2 steals, 2 blocks. This season, he's averaging like 1.3 blocks, almost a steal. He looks like a legit rim protector now. That was the big question mark coming in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can he anchor a defense? He's starting to answer that.
And that defensive focus, it kind of boiled over in that one moment, right?
Yeah.
The argument.
Yeah, that was fascinating. Sources noted Durant and Asar Thompson really getting into it, yelling about a missed defensive rotation after Philly scored easily.
Okay.
But then, importantly, they immediately dapped up, moved on. But that fire, that intensity over one defensive mistake, it shows you how much they care, how bought in they are. They're demanding that perfection from each other. That's culture building right there.
Right, accountability. And beyond the defense, his offense has been, well, the efficiency is kind of nuts. You mentioned a stat earlier, 1.41 points per possession on drives. Can you unpack that? That sounds ridiculously high.
It is. 1.41 PPP on drives for a center. That's unreal. Usually centers score off lobs, putbacks, maybe post-ups. Driving means you're starting outside, attacking off the dribble.
Right.
He's scoring 1.41 points every time he does that. Just for context, that's often better than elite guards who live off driving and kicking. It's crazy efficient.
So he's not just catching lobs, he's actually creating offense himself now. How's he doing it?
It's a few things. He's using his strength, powering through guys, drawing a ton of fouls. Saw him use like an in-and-out dribble, a rip-through from the high post to get by Drummond. That's guard stuff almost for a big man. Needs handle, needs aggression.
And that connects to his decision-making in the short roll, right? Explain what the short roll is and how he's mastering it.
Okay, so pick and roll. Cade uses the screen. Defense hedges or shows, meaning the Bigs defender steps out for a second to stop Cade.
Got it.
Duren, the screener, rolls towards the basket but stops kind of short, near the free throw line. Catches the pass in that space. That's the short roll. Now he's got options. Attack, pass to a shooter if the defense collapsed. It happens fast.
And he's making the right read almost every time.
Seems like it. The sources highlighted this one play, just incredible awareness. Duren grabs a defensive rebound, brings the ball up himself.
The center bringing it up.
Yeah. Full court, sees the defense shift, and makes this perfect live dribble kick-out pass to Duncan Robinson in the corner for 3. How many centers are doing that? Initiating transition, making the right read to a shooter. That's high-level playmaking vision.
So the Cade Duren pick and roll, it's deadly because Duren can score, he can pass out of that short roll, or he can still finish the lob. He's got an answer for everything now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
If they keep this up, the Pistons are suddenly a team you really don't want to play in the East. And you got to give credit to those veterans they brought in, like LeVert hitting big shots, Javonte Green playing crazy defense. It's a team effort. But Cade and Duren, they're the engine.
Okay, great stuff on the Pistons. Let's shift gears, head out west, because Detroit isn't the only surprise story. We've got a couple of teams making serious noise, including one with, well, one of the best records in the league right now.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sitting at 10-1, it's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And what makes it even crazier is the sources keep pointing out they're not even fully healthy.
That's the thing. They've won games missing key guys. Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, starters, important rotation players. But they showed that grit, right? Erased a 19-point deficit against Memphis. Won the second half, 63-38.
That ability to just flip the switch, as the sources call it, that's becoming their signature. They went on, what, a 34-18 run just in the third quarter of that game?
Wow.
They have this defensive identity, this toughness that lets them survive rough shooting nights. I think they shot only 23% from 3 in that Memphis game. But it didn't matter because they just clamped down and ran.
And the guy orchestrating it all is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. just continuing this unbelievable run. 35 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists in that one. That was his 63rd straight game with the 20-plus points.
Yeah.
That's getting into historic territory.
He really is. But what's maybe even more impressive than the scoring, the efficiency, is the control. Look at his turnovers.
Right.
His usage rate is sky high. The ball is always in his hands. Defenses are scheming for him, trapping him, swiping at the ball constantly, and yet he's averaging only 1.8 turnovers per game.
That low turnover number with that much usage, that's just incredible decision-making, maturity, handling all that pressure without giving possessions away.
And what's cool is how the sources break down his shot selection during the game. He's like analyzing himself. They pointed out one step-back three he took early, called it a bad shot because the defense was kind of giving him the lane, but he settled. But then later, after a timeout, different situation, ball moved around, shot clock winding down, defender had to respect the pass. He takes another step-back three, that one goes in, and the analysts called that a good decision, win or lose the shot, because the process was right. Shows he's learning possession by possession.
And OKC seems to have found a solution for something that killed them last year, right? Those minutes when SGA had to rest and leads would just vanish. The answer seems to be A.J. Mitchell.
Mitchell has been huge. He's basically taken over that key fourth-quarter role, especially with J-Dub out. If you'd said 3 weeks ago OKC would be 10-1 without Williams and Mitchell would be a big reason SGA could rest comfortably, nobody would have believed you.
Yeah.
But he's providing that stability.
Yeah.
He just fits so well next to SGA.
How so? What makes that fit work?
He's just so smooth, efficient.
There was this great play, the sources highlighted, SGA actually set a screen for Mitchell, guard-on-guard action. Mitchell came off it, scored over a defender at the elbow. He plays off SGA's gravity perfectly.
Yeah.
He's an easy outlet, reliable scorer when things get tight.
A safety valve.
Totally. He had 21 points, 6 boards, 4 assists in that win. Hit a couple big threes. Just makes good decisions. And he should only get better when Williams comes back.
Yeah.
That backcourt depth is getting scary. He's definitely in that early 6th man of the year talk.
And you can't talk Thunder without mentioning Chet Holmgren. Another 21 points for him in that win. How's his game evolving?
He's adapting really fast. Didn't shoot the 3 well in that game, only 1 for 4, so he found other ways. He was actively looking for mismatches, hitting turnaround jumpers in the mid-range over smaller guys. Memphis didn't protect the rim well, and Chet just took advantage, diving, finishing.
So adding that mid-range game makes him even tougher to guard, right? If the 3 isn't falling, he's got other options. He's becoming a true 3-level threat.
Exactly. And zooming out, the big picture for OKC, it all comes back to defense. They forced 14 turnovers against Memphis, only gave it away 6 times themselves. That's the foundation. That defense, turning the stakes into easy points, that's how they're 10-1. They don't need perfect offense every night.
Okay, from one hot team in the West to another story. Let's talk Houston Rockets. They got a really significant win, taking down the Milwaukee Bucks 122-115. And this felt like a game the Bucks should have won, which maybe says a lot about the Rockets under Ime Udoka.
For sure. You have the star power. KD with 31 and 7 assists for Houston sources said maybe his best game as a Rocket so far, just making all the right plays late. Giannis went off for 37 and 8 for the Bucks.
Yeah.
But the real eye-opener, maybe the guy driving this Rockets turnaround, was Alperen Sengün. Just a monster game. 23 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists.
Sengün has been incredible this year. What's fueling this leap for him?
He's just adding layers to his game constantly. He's shooting more threes now, which helps spacing.
Yeah.
But the big thing is the handle, the confidence with the ball. He's not just a passer from the post anymore. He can actually put it on the floor and attack good defenders.
Yeah, the sources pointed out one specific play that kind of showed that new level, right?
Oh, yeah. Late in the game, Sengün gets Giannis switched onto him. Giannis, right, one of the best defenders, period, tries to swipe at the ball twice, misses. Sengün just uses that, spins off him, finishes smoothly.
Wow, spinning off Giannis for a bucket.
Yeah. A center doing that in isolation against him. That tells you everything about Sengün's skill level now and the trust Udoka has put in him to run the offense.
So is the Rockets' improvement mostly about Sengün being the hub, or is it just having KD as that elite scorer? How does Udoka's system fit?
It works together, but Sengün feels like the key piece for Udoka's style. Udoka wants defense, aggression, pace. Sengün's passing, his ability to grab and go in transition, that fuels the pace. KD is the ultimate safety net, right? Get him the ball, get a bucket. But Sengün unlocking this level of perimeter skill, Houston might be way ahead of schedule.
Okay, but we have to talk about the other side of this game. The Bucks basically imploded. Doc Rivers said it was self-inflicted wounds, and the biggest wounds seem to be rebounding.
Oh, the rebounding numbers.
Yeah.
They're just brutal. They tell the whole story. Houston out-rebounded Milwaukee 50-27.
50-27.
Yeah. But here's the killer stat, the one that explains everything. Houston grabbed 20 offensive rebounds. 20.
Okay.
That number, 20 offensive rebounds for Houston, matched the Bucks' total number of defensive rebounds for the entire game.
Wait, say that again? Houston got as many offensive rebounds.
As the Bucks got total defensive rebounds.
Right. I mean, that's statistically impossible to overcome almost. They were getting second chances on nearly half their misses.
Basically. You just cannot win like that. Sources said even when the Bucks tried playing bigger lineups, the effort just wasn't there. No boxing out, no crashing the glass. It looked like a fundamental lack of focus, of intensity.
And it wasn't just rebounding, right? Their offense fell apart, too.
Complete tale of two halves. First half, Bucks looked great. 18 assists, only 4 turnovers, playing with pace. Second half, 7 assists, 9 turnovers.
Yikes.
Giannis himself said the ball got sticky.
Yeah.
They just went into iso ball, predictable stuff. Exactly what Udoka's defense wants you to do. Abandon everything that worked early.
So the self-inflicted wounds were don't rebound, don't pass, take bad shots, and it all led to that huge Rockets run at the end.
Yeah. Houston closed the game on a 22-7 run. Just took it away from them. Giannis was pretty blunt after the game, said they didn't play smart, admitted the ball stuck. He even said the Rockets were moving it, finding the open man, and the Bucks did the opposite. Raises questions about their bench, their wing size maybe contributing to the rebounding woes. Oh, and they shot terribly from the free throw line, too, like 58%. Giannis missed 3 of 4 late. Just compounded errors.
Yeah, all those little things add up fast. 18-point swing in the second half cost them the game. Okay, that covers the recent action. Let's pivot now to some significant league-wide news. One piece honoring a legend, the other, well, dealing with some serious job pressure.
Absolutely. We need to take a moment first to remember and honor the incredible Lenny Wilkens. Hall of Famer, passed away peacefully at 88. Just a giant of the game, leaves behind an amazing legacy.
His career is just remarkable, not just for how long it was, but how unique. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame 3 separate times, right?
No, 3 times. It's unbelievable. Really speaks to his impact across the board. First as a player back in 89, then as a coach in 98, and then again in 2010 as an assistant coach for the 92 Dream Team.
Wow.
To get in for 3 different roles, almost unheard of. Shows how much he contributed.
And his playing career itself was fantastic. 15 years, 9-time All-Star Game MVP, played for a few teams.
Yeah, St. Louis, Seattle, Cleveland, Portland. But his deepest connection, his biggest impact, was really with Seattle. They called him the godfather of Seattle basketball.
Right.
He got traded to the Sonics in '68 and pretty quickly became their player coach in '69. He just saw they needed leadership and stepped up.
And then he came back later just to coach, and that's when they reached the pinnacle.
Exactly. He returned to coach full-time in '77 and led them to the NBA title in 1979. That was Seattle's only championship.
Wow, only one.
Yep. And technically, it remained the franchise's last title until OKC won last year, long after the team moved. So Wilkens really built that winning foundation in Seattle.
And just think about his coaching career span. Sonics in the 70s, then Cavs, Hawks, Raptors, Knicks. Into the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, he adapted through so many different eras of basketball.
Totally. From the physical, slower game through the Jordan era into the modern game. Sources always mentioned he was a player's coach. Calm, communicative, earned respect that way, didn't need to yell. That's probably why he stayed successful for so long. Just commanded respect. Named one of these 75 greatest players, one of the 15 greatest coaches, and irreplaceable figure.
Truly an icon. Thoughts are with his family. Okay, now, let's do a hard pivot. Back to the West, down to Dallas, where the vibe around the Mavericks is being described pretty bluntly as ceaseless negativity. Teams struggling at 3 and 7, and the sources are pointing to some serious tension upstairs.
Yeah, that negativity seems deep-rooted. And the sources say it's really grating on ownership now. It apparently all tracks back to the fallout from what the sources call the incomprehensible post-Doncic trade last season.
Okay, we need to clarify that. What exactly was that trade? What caused this crisis?
We're talking about the Kyrie Irving trade.
Ah, all right.
Sources say it was just widely seen as a move that didn't fix their main problems, defense, rebounding, depth, and cost them key assets. It was a huge swing, betting on star power over team fit, and it didn't work. They missed the playoffs, seemed to really tick off a lot of fans.
And the guy who reportedly pushed hardest for that trade was the GM, Nico Harrison. So the failure of that big swing is now landing squarely on him, especially with this rough 3-7 start.
Exactly. It's not just whispers anymore. Insiders are openly asking, is Nico Harrison on the hot seat? And the sources are confirming, yeah, that's a legitimate question being discussed at the very top levels in Dallas.
So what's driving the pressure now if the team governor, Patrick Dumont, supposedly wants to give him more time? Why the urgency?
It sounds like it's gone beyond just wins and losses. The leadership is apparently debating making a change during the season. And the key phrase the sources used was they're looking for vibe shift potential.
Vibe shift potential. Okay, that sounds very corporate speak. What does that actually mean for the team, for the fans listening?
It basically means the whole atmosphere around the team, the negativity from the Kyrie trade fallout, the bad start, maybe Luka's perceived frustration. It's gotten so toxic that ownership feels the only way to hit reset internally and importantly with the fan base is a big symbolic change. They need to signal both to the public and maybe to Luka Doncic himself that they're moving past the person seen as responsible for the recent mess.
So firing the GM wouldn't just be about basketball strategy. It's about changing the whole feeling, the narrative around the team, wiping the slate clean, trying to win back fans.
Precisely. That vibe shift idea shows you how much managing superstar happiness and public perception matters now. It's almost as crucial as building the roster. When things get this negative, when it affects ownership, alienates fans, sometimes a change at the top is seen as the fastest way to stop the bleeding. Harrison's big gamble failed, he hasn't fixed the fallout, and now his job might be the price to pay for that reset.
Yeah.
The pressure's definitely on in Dallas.
Wow. That's a huge story potentially brewing there, all stemming from one big trade that backfired.
And it connects to everything else, right? You see the focus needed for clutch moments with Cade and Durant, the efficiency in defense driving the Thunder's crazy start with SGA, the way a good team like the Bucks can just fall apart if the effort and focus disappears, especially on the boards. And then Dallas shows you front office mistakes, bad vibes. They can put anyone's job on the line no matter who's on the court.
Yeah, the key takeaways are pretty clear today. Detroit's young guys, Cade and Durant, that leap looks real. OKC's formula, SGA's brilliance plus that suffocating defense, and the Bucks-Rockets game, a reminder of how thin that line is between executing and collapsing.
Right. And thinking about that Dallas situation, the pressure on Nico Harrison, ownership, looking for that vibe shift, it makes you wonder, right? For you, the listener, how quickly could we see other teams make big front office moves if things don't turn around by, say, Thanksgiving? That feels like a deadline sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Big decisions often follow those early season struggles.
It really does. Something to keep an eye on for sure. We'll definitely be tracking it.
Thank you for listening. Please comment, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Spotify, please leave 5-star review. It will help the channel grow. Until next time, please check our previous episodes.